America Cooperative Council's What is a Cooperative? We're putting this together so that you who are viewing this video can have a better understanding of what cooperatives are, because they're simple in concept but very difficult to run effectively. So the first place we'd like to begin is, what is a cooperative? And generally cooperatives are businesses. And cooperatives conceptually are a group of people getting together to do together that which would be more difficult or less efficient for them to do as individuals. We have many different kinds of cooperatives across America. A co-op is a business. It is owned and it generally is incorporated type of a business. However, there are a few co-ops that are more informal, like a babysitting co-op, that are also considered co-ops. But the most common types of co-ops are credit unions, rural electrics, ag supply co-ops, housing co-ops, milk marketing co-ops. But let me back up just a second and explain the cooperative itself is, if you can imagine, a group of people who as individuals recognize that they have a fair amount of challenges on their own. Things are difficult. Every co-op that I've ever worked with began during a time which was difficult. So there was something broken in the marketplace, some service or product that was not being provided, or the market was kind of broke, if you will. Something was just at a very, very expensive price that makes it very unreasonable to continue doing business in that particular manner. So co-ops do moderate prices and moderate the markets that they're in. So let me give you a few examples. Back at the turn of the last century, the most common co-ops that were being started about that time were credit unions, because at that time there were lots of banks, lots of community banks, but banks were all owned and controlled by those wealthy people in the town. And if you wanted to get a loan from those individuals, then you had to go to those banks in order to get the loans. Well, there were people in those towns who had money that were willing to loan it out to those looking for cash. And so all a credit union is a financial institution where a group of individuals who have more money than they need at that time are willing to come together, provide a formal structure of a credit union, and then turn around and pass that money out, or give that money, loan that money to individuals for their services that will eventually be paid back. You might think, well, why in the world would they want to do that? Well, there were times over 100 years ago, and there are still times today, when some people could be asked to spend over 100% interest for a loan. So you would borrow $1,000, and then 6 months later, you'd have to pay back over $2,000 for that loan. So it was quite expensive at that time. Certainly those individuals had some reasons for that. The other piece that we want to try to talk about in a co-op is somewhat like a family. Co-ops, anybody, a voluntary and open membership of anybody that wants to become a part of that particular co-op. So like a family, everybody is welcome to come in and everybody serves their own need, and they serve that need themselves through mutual